Hi, my name is Beth Hiley here for Board Game Geek TV at The Gathering in Niagara Falls 2012, and I'm sitting down with Sean Brown, who I threatened to call another name earlier, but I'll go with just Sean Brown, who is with Eagle Griffin / Fred Distribution Games.
Eagle Games, Griffin Games,
Fred Distribution Games.
King Supers, Walmart, Taco Bell, KFC.
So I know you're going to show us a couple different games, but the first one that we wanted to look at was wow. And again, I should practice this before you sit down with me, so now you get to say it.
Fantastica.
Oh. Which is my pet name for when the interview is done.
It's Fantastica. Well, hopefully you like it. For that reason, you can say, this game is... Say it.
Fantastica.
Wonderful. Okay, Fantastica, at its core, is a deck building game. We're going to start out with two different sides. This is the starting hand that you're dealt. You always start out with a basic hand for your character. So this hand we're looking at here is this particular character stand, denoted by this placard. You're going to start out with a dog. Dog is a card that if he comes up in your deck, he'll help you search for treasure and find gems, which you can use to buy other things. Everybody starts out with a quest. And that's going to be the thing that you're starting to go out and do a quest.
All right, so my quest is repair the tire swing of the tyrannical child Tyrell.
I couldn't have said that better myself. So to solve this quest, you need to find 2 spider webs. And you need to go to the forest with those 2 spider webs, and then you can solve this quest. And you're ultimately trying to solve quests to earn victory points. You also start out, in this case, with a magic item.
Oh, the Wardrobe of Changing.
Wardrobe of Changing, how appropriate. It's like I planned that. So you're going to take all of these basic cards. You're going to take your dog and your artifact, and you're going to put these into your deck, along with your Peaceful Dragon. The Peaceful Dragon, he enjoys tea and he does nothing else. So basically he clogs up your hand, and you can give him to other people, you can try to discard him and get rid of him. But just like any other deck builder, you're going to shuffle these cards out, and then you're going to draw 5. And then you're going to try to take a turn with those 5.
Which you get to be my card boy, since I get to hold the microphone.
Absolutely. So if this were your turn, this would be your hand. So the Peaceful Dragon is just basically going to give us one less thing to do this turn. And the game is unique in the fact that there are a bunch of free actions, but on your turn you may only do one action. So an action could be to solve a quest, and that means you'd have to be at the location with the proper items, and your whole turn would be to solve the quest.
And I'm guessing I'm actually probably standing in the forest, given the matching pictures.
But you don't have the required things to solve this quest. You could go adventuring, that's a free action. You could go to draw cards, that's a paid action, and so on. So basically in this case, we're going to do a free action. Because maybe I want to go draw some more quest cards, which would be going over to this location, or I want to draw some artifacts. So to subdue creatures, I would look at the map and I would say, I want spiders, which also corresponds with my quest. So to subdue this spider, I would need to go for his weakness, which is the tooth, which I happen to have a tooth in my hand. So I would spend that tooth onto my discard pile, so that as I pass over him onto the next location, I can take him. Since I've defeated him, I get to add him to my deck, and I can use him later for the spider web that he produces up top. Okay, and I can continue to do all this adventuring provided I have cards. So if I had a pail, I could continue onward. But since I don't have a pail, I need to stop. There's one other thing I could do, is I do have a magic carpet. I could exchange that magic carpet to skip over a space. Now I've got to my final destination, and I will use my action for the turn, which in this case is going to be to look at 3 artifact cards. And since we only have 3 gems, we can only buy one of these. We could buy this 2 or this 3. We pick, maybe we decide we want the Gnomish Portal. So we purchase that, put it in our deck, take these back here, throw them in the discard pile, spend our gems appropriately, turns over, back into your hand, and repeat. And then, of course, it would be your next opponent's turn.
Now, as I'm reading off the front of the box here, for 2 to 4 players. Do you find that, is there a lot of interaction between 4 players, or is it typical as with some other deck building games that you're pretty much working on efficiency within your own deck and turns?
There's definitely the efficiency of the deck, but I do find interaction even in a 2-player game in the fact of somebody going before you adventures, and maybe you had your path all plotted out, and all of a sudden, where I defeated someone here, we're going to replace it with a beast card. And that was a bad example. But say the Enchantress comes out, that may have just blocked your entire path. So now you have to do something you didn't necessarily plan to do. Also, if you're ever in the same location as someone, you can give them a card, which 9 out of 10 times is a peaceful dragon. But it's also a good way to get rid of cards, just like most deck builders. As you start getting the higher end cards, you want to get rid of the low end cards. So it's another effective way to do that.
Now, this is still in prototype form, but when do you guys anticipate that this will make it out into the market?
I'm not 100% sure. At this point, we're still trying to clean up the design. This is by Alf Siegert, which I don't think we discussed earlier. Shame on your host. And who also did The Road to Canterbury. And this is his newest design. And we really like where it's going. And we've gotten a ton of feedback here at the Gathering. And we'll be incorporating a lot of things when we get back home, and I believe we'll make the game even that much better.
Yeah, I have to say my contribution is I think that binder clips should also be used extensively in the board gaming industry as excellent stands.
Yes,
I gotta say that's actually quite a bit better than the standard little plastic ones.
And I'm sure Office Depot would love us too.
Yeah, that too. Well, Sean, thank you for showing us Fantastica.
Thank you, Beth.
Which, as promised, I promised to say this with a bit of extra flair. So this would actually be Fantastica.
There you go. Ridiculous.
You're welcome. Boy, you and I are as bad as me and Keith, too.